What's up YouTube, Capital G here, checking out a brand new Cyber Dragon support card that just got revealed. This is coming out of the Duelist Pack 20, and again, Konami is really giving a lot of love to Zane Truesdale. If you're a Cyber Dragon fan or you're just like GX, maybe you're a really big fan of Zane, you gotta be feeling pretty damn good right now because Konami is setting him up with a whole bunch of good cards, and I really feel like Cyber Dragons are going to be taken to the next level because they're getting a Link, they're getting a Premature Burial, a Rhoda, so many good cards that, yeah, I feel like Cyber Dragons topping regionals, it's not going to be one of those things where it's like, well, how the hell did that happen? It's going to be like, well, okay, Cyber Dragons are a pretty legitimate deck. You just can't sleep on them and expect them to roll over like they did in years past. So let's go ahead and break down Cybernetic Revolution. Yes, the card is, it's named after the Yu-Gi-Oh set from the GX era, the old school set where Cyber Dragons premiered, just like how Konami has done this in the past. In fact, this is the second time that they've done it for Zane specifically. You guys remember the set Cyber Dark Impact that released Chain Burn and Snipe Hunter and the Barrier statues and whatnot? Well, there's a card in that set also called Cyber Dark Impact, and obviously in season 3, Zane used the Cyber Darks and whatnot. Plus, Konami has done this with Duelist Alliance. That's a booster set and it's a Pendulum support card. Never quite understood the naming of that one, but whatever. I'm getting off topic. So, Cybernetic Revolution, normal trap card that is a hard once per turn. Tribute one Cyber Dragon monster you control. Special summon from the extra deck one fusion monster that lists a Cyber Dragon monster as a fusion material, but it cannot attack directly and is destroyed during the end phase of the next turn. This is a card that I actually really like in concept, but just not in execution, and I think it's kind of obvious why. The glaring flaw of this card is not really the design of it, it's just the fact that it's a trap card, and it's going to be inherently slow because of that. And I understand that we YouTubers say that too much. We are, every single card should be a quick play, there should be no traps, and Konami has to roll their eyes at some point and say, well, damn it, we can't make every fucking thing a quick play. But man, if there was ever a card that was just screaming out, make me a quick play spell, I kind of feel like it's this card. And the reason is, if you look at the design of this card and pretty much how to use it the most effective, you're probably going to be using this card aggressive. And when you're talking about cards that are best used aggressively, I kind of feel like those cards should be quick plays. Like, I think the most standard play with this is probably going to be to give up a Cyber Dragon, which you don't even technically have to use a Cyber Dragon. You can use something like Cyber Dragon Core because so many of the damn monsters in the deck count as Cyber Dragon on the field, but you can go for like Cyber Dragon Core. You can do this in the battle phase too, which was why I really think this card has great potential aggressively to be used. But let's say you give up your core, you then summon something like Cyber End Dragon during the battle phase, and even though the monster can't attack directly, you're talking about Cyber End Dragon, which is a 4,000 beater that also does piercing damage. So you can super punish your opponent for having a small monster on the field, or even get over like huge threats like Borlo Dragon or something like that. You can do some serious damage. You can even add cheese stuff like limiter removal. I think that this card does have a pretty nice ceiling. It's just it's too boiled down, or it's too bogged down by the fact that the card is just ridiculously slow. And when you look at traps in the context of Cyber Dragons historically, they really haven't worked all that well. Yes, there is Cybernetic or Cyber Network, which you don't really see that card played all that often. And I don't want to hear about traps like Solemn Strike and Solemn Warning and how they can work in Cyber Dragons, because those cards work in every deck. I'm talking about the cards from the actual archetype itself. Especially, I think that this problem is even exacerbated more when you look at the fact that Cyber Dragons are getting all this support, and they're getting a Premature Burial, they're getting a Rhoda, they're getting all of these cards that's going to make the deck more consistent and faster, and then this card is just kind of inherently slow. I also feel like I have to point out that Cybernetic Revolution, to my knowledge, does not count as an actual fusion summon. So when the monster is actually off the field and it hits the graveyard, you're not going to be able to bring it back with like Call of the Haunted or Soul Charge or whatever, because it was never actually properly fusion summoned. And that does take away the ability for some of the cards. Like, I think your main targets for this are Cyber End, Cyber Twin, and then Cyber Eternity Dragon. Something like Chimera Tech Over Dragon is something that you would not be able to summon because it says that it must be fusion summoned. Same thing goes with Rampage Dragon. You guys correct me if I'm wrong, but Rampage Dragon says it must be fusion summoned with only the above materials, and that's 2 Cyber Dragons. So you're not fusion summoning, and then also you're not using 2 Cyber Dragons as materials. You're just tributing 1 card. So you won't be able to summon the full army of the Cyber Dragon fusion monsters, but for the most part, being able to go for the 3 that I just named, I think that that's adequate enough. So you guys let me know what you think of Cybernetic Revolution, not the set, obviously, the card. I really just think that this card should have been a quick play, but maybe you guys disagree. Leave it in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching. As always, subscribe if you have not already. Turn on that notification bell for daily videos.